It is nuts out there, absolutely. And really what's going on is FTX is a borderline failing, and essentially that thing has collapsed. I mean, it's just remarkable. I'm trying to bring up my chart right now, but the collapse in that alone is spooking everyone. Everyone's having deja vu with Terra Luna, right? We know Terra
Right.
Luna collapsed. Here you have FTX. Now it is bouncing off the lows, got as low as about 275. It's back to over $5, but still down from 22 on the day. And
Insane.
that is an epic collapse, and it's spooking the whole crypto market. And again, this is just one more thing that the crypto market knows that regulation is coming. And
Mhm.
the more things like this happen, the scarier the regulation potentially becomes for the overall market. So again, it's a monster drop, and yeah, I mean, look at Solana, Avalanche. I mean, there's just everything is just getting hammered. Went away and it
Yeah.
collapsed even further. So it makes me wonder what the real narrative is here. What's the real story? And so I'm just waiting to hear facts, hear more stuff later today.
Do you think it's just massive panic and it'll go up? See, for example, what's going on with the midterms?
Yeah, so the midterms are today. And by the way, I got to throw this one out there, and this is a crazy one. But basically, 1 year ago today, the highest close on Bitcoin occurred November 8th, 2021. 1 year later, this is where we are in the crypto markets, obviously having panic in here. In addition, last night we had a red blood moon, full moon, whatever it is. And I mean, just that alone, you have to wonder. I mean, there's weird impacts that the moon, the lunar cycle can give you. And sure enough, we're seeing some of the craziness today. So just some crazy stuff going on here. But I think ultimately, you have to be careful of FTX because we know what happened to Terra Luna. I don't know the leverage that these companies have on their balance sheets because honestly, we don't have the transparency that a stock company has to report, right?
Mm.
So be careful. I still think there's opportunities in panic on other cryptocurrencies, but you have to be careful, trade small, regulation. And I think that's what the market's hoping for, no doubt about it. But I think, again, there are opportunities in crypto, but you got to be really careful, be very, very careful in this environment.
So yesterday, well, day before yesterday, I actually made a video about us not closing about 21.5K, not confirming, and that we could have potential downside if we don't confirm above it. Can we look at that level and see what you feel, what you see? Is there some way somebody could have seen this through TA?
Yeah, so let's take a look. So we'll look at the Bitcoin chart, and basically what we had was we had a potential breakout right here, right? So you had the market get above. Let me put in some trend lines here. So this was a previous pivot, and we kind of got above there,
Mm-hmm.
okay? And so we got above here, we retested, we then went up, and then the fact of the matter is we came right back in it. You could almost look at it like right here. I mean, once this
Mm-hmm.
couldn't hold the breakout above this high, that
Right.
was a bearish indicator. Now, again, did I know that we were going to have this type of collapse? No. I mean, again, this is an epic drop in crypto as a whole. But I do think that you could see the fact that you had a breakout here that
Yeah.
confirmed and it wasn't able to hold and you basically went back below. That's never a good sign. If you actually were to get by the end of the closing day, which is, I think, 7 p.m. Eastern time here, if you get back to this trend line and close right on this trend line, that would be another short-term bullish signal. So it was a nasty flush, but there are some hopes. There's some hope here that Bitcoin can recover just a little bit. There is a possibility, right? So I think that the Republicans are kind of the less likely to regulate harshly group. So I think that that is definitely a possibility there. Although I do think that the SEC is the one that's mostly in control here. So we have to respect that, and that may mean that it doesn't matter who controls the houses of government in the U.S. Now, having said that, we have to also look and say, the seasonality side of things. I agree that oftentimes you'll see that Christmas rally, that Santa Claus rally, but we have to watch and see what goes on here with
Mm.
with Terra. I mean, not Terra Luna, but FTX, right? I
Is-
mean, a Freudian slip there in a weird way. But I think this is the thing: is that does this start a chain reaction? I don't think it will because Terra Luna's. I mean, FTX wasn't as big as Terra Luna, but I do also think that investors just need to be cautious here. I still have a downside target of 12 to 13,000 on Bitcoin, maybe even lower than that. And this, unfortunately, this could be the start. I'm watching those trend lines we just watched to see where it closes.
You don't think it's too fast, too soon?
I mean, if anything, you've made this long bear flag going back to June,
Mm.
and here we are in November. So, I mean, this is one of the longer bear. I don't necessarily know if it will be exactly like it was back then, but we do want to be careful.
All right, real quick, before we get into the stock market, are you on the bandwagon that if Republicans win the House and Senate, my theory, or a few people's theory is that because they're going to be challenging Biden on every move, not many things will change. Markets don't like change, therefore that could help the rally. If the stocks rise, then we'll take Bitcoin or crypto with it. Are you on that bandwagon or not?
I am on the bandwagon that the initial reaction to the Republicans, even taking one of the houses, right? I mean,
Mm,
because if one goes one way, one goes the other, then they're deadlocked anyways. But I think that, yes, that would be a very short-term positive. But I will tell you this, is that as soon as we get a day or two out of these elections, the markets are going to focus back in on the CPI on Thursday, and
mm.
then all the data coming up, plus the Fed decision in December. And I honestly think that that's way more important than the overall markets. I really do. I think that's going to be the driving force. And I'm not so optimistic about a Christmas rally this year. Hopefully I'm wrong, but I'm not super optimistic over it. It does show you the connection of the crypto market to the stock market, because humans are both in crypto and in stocks. And so when you see your crypto collapse and you're seeing, oh my goodness, I'm down 30, 40, 50% here, you obviously are going to be a little nervous about holding your stocks in the meantime. So a lot of people aren't sold. Now we've seen a bounce in crypto, and we're also seeing a bounce in the S&P 500. Now on the daily chart, what we can see is we're hovering in kind of a bearish pattern here, just underneath a lot of resistance. So this is kind of a little bit of a scary pattern going into the election results. I'm going to be honest with you, where I do think the markets are going to have another leg lower. I just don't know if we rally up into this resistance first on the election results,
Yeah.
and then the CPI maybe takes us down.
Yeah, there's a doji, there is uncertainty. So from a
Yep.
quick look and quick glance, what about gold? What's going on with gold right now?
Gold, my favorite, right? I'm loving gold. The move in gold is tremendous today. It's following up. I love this pattern where you have a surge, pause, surge, right? And
Mm,
now the big question is,
ooh,
can gold take out around the $1,725 level? But again, I love seeing these stronger moves in gold. It's coinciding with a week with the elections. If you
mm.
saw any instability, I mean, these are things that could make people run into the safety of the dollar, and then the stock market would obviously decline on the back of that. So I'm very kind of cautious. I
And
actually picked
gold.
up a little bit on the short side today of the stock market when we were near the highs of the day.
And gold. Gold is also counter to the
Exactly. It's
dollar,
it's a it's a
correct?
safety hedge as well. Absolutely.
All right. What about oil? What's going on with oil? What's going on with other markets? What do you have to tell us?
Yeah, so oil had broken above a little channel here. Let me show my chart again. We saw oil break above briefly and then kind of pause, and then it looks like it's failing the breakout. So we're going to watch this. The biggest line to me is this upsloping one right here. And again, that's going to be the one that if we hold it, you can be neutral to positive on oil. If you break this line, I think you actually head all the way back to $76 a barrel on spot crude. So it's an interesting price action day. But again, we still haven't tagged support yet. So
Yeah.
that's the level I'm going to be watching.